Hello, Klaus here, and welcome back to yet another video here at the channel. So the new DaVinci Resolve 18.1 update is out, and it is a quite amazing update. I already did a video about how to use the sky replacement tool, which is an awesome tool. However, I thought maybe it was possible to use this technique to do like a night shot where you replace the sky and do some different stuff. So in this video, that is what we are going to test out. So basically, we're going to take a shot like this and transforming it into a shot like that. Pretty neat, I think. So let's get right to that video and let's start learning how to do that. And if you want to learn more DaVinci stuff, please do consider to subscribe. And with that out of the way, let's get right to the video. Okay, so here we are in DaVinci Resolve, and let's get started. We're going to use this little clip I have here of a castle in Transylvania with some rain. And, I want to make this appear as a night shot using the new sky replacement tool in DaVinci Resolve. At least that's what we're going to test out in this video. So let's just jump into the color page. And let's just go up here and search for sky. I'm going to take the sky replacement and put it down here. Super cool. So I'll go to the first node and I'm going to tell my sky replacement where the sky is. So, and you can do that in different ways, but I tend to use the qualifier and go into the 3D. And then we're just going to draw a shape here around, trying to take all of the clouds and stuff away. Something like that should be good. So now we're going to take the output here of the blue and put this into this output in the sky replacement. And here we can see our mask. So if we select the sky replacement and go into the inspector, we have different things we can change. We can actually change the sky adjustment here, and we can just push preview to see our adjustment, and then we can, for instance, put in some black levels, go into the white levels a little bit, and refine and shift edges a bit, something like that. So for this tutorial, this will do. We're just going to go into the artificial sky we have right here. I will push the preview artificial sky. Now everything's black. And we can just turn this up. If we want to see how our mask looking, we can just click right here. And now we have this look here, which is not what we want, because I don't want it to be a sunny day. So I'm going to change the colors, because I don't want to have a blue sky. I want to have a black sky, like that. And the horizon, I don't really want that to be white. I want that to be in the grayish, maybe a little more like that. Cool. And then, I can go into the horizon softness and I can soften this out. I can also change the height. So it'll be more like this. I can also change the angle of that if I wanted to. So maybe I'll do something like this. So now we're going into the clouds, and I'm going to bump these up quite a bit. However, I'm not going to make those white. I'm going to make those a little more grayish. Something like that looks good. And I'm going to scale up my clouds, making them bigger. I'm going to change the shape of those. I'm going to make them a little more like this. I'm going to change in the details here to make them puff a little bit. I'm going to go into the scale again, and also going to change the tint a little bit, making the details and also the cloud contrast. I can go into my cloud position down here, and then I can move up my clouds a little bit, like something like this maybe, and then I can adjust the scale or something like that. Okay, so what I also want to use is, actually I want to use the hotspot, which is right here, but instead of using the hotspot as a sun, which you would normally do. I want to use this as a moon, so I'm going to change the color into a little more like white. So we have this thing here. And then, I can go into the size of that, something like that. Maybe I'll go into change the shape of that, so it's more like this. And then I can go into the brightness as well, so I can make it smaller or bigger. I'm going for a big one here, so and I want to adjust the placement of that as well, perhaps here. Hotspot size, maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. I'll make it bigger. I'll take down the brightness a little bit, something like that. And I can go into the shape and make it very much like this, but I want to make it something like that. I think would be okay. So what I then want to do is I want to track my composition here, or because as you know, there is actually a little bit of movement in this shot. Not much, but a little bit. So I want to track this because there is a little bit of movement. So I'm going to go in and track the foreground, and hopefully that'll do a decent job. There's just a little bit of movement, and it would be nice if the skies were moving. I could just go in and auto size this. If you have any black bars and stuff like that, you can go in and auto size, but I already did size up my composition, so I'm going to keep it like this. So I'll go to the sky integration, so I can preview my final sky here if I want to, but that's not really what I want to do. What I really want to do is I want to adjust the colors a bit for the foreground. So I'm going to click adjust foreground, and I'm going to go to the brightness of that. I'm going to take that quite a bit down because it is dark, right? I'm going into the saturation. I'm going to take some of the saturation out, and then I have my temperature. I'm going to push that towards blue, and then I have a tint where I can change the colors. I'm going to let that be, and then I have a global blend where I could change in the blend if I want it to be like something like this. I think looks decent. Then I'm going to push Alt S to do another note, and in this note I'm just going to give this a super basic grade. So I'll just go into the colors, and in the gain I'm just going to drag this towards blue. In the gamma I'm going to drag that towards blue, and let's do the same in the lift, but not as much, maybe a little less. Just a little bit. So to give this night effect here, and of course I could do a little bit of contrast here as well to darken it down just a little bit. And here I have the tint and the temperature, and I could control this a little more like that. Yeah, pretty decent. So I'll just go to the edit page here, and since there is rain on the shot, you can actually see that here in the footage. When we run it, you can see you have these raindrops. I might as well just go into my media pool and add in a rain overlay. This one is from Storyblocks, but you can get them for different places like Rocket Rooster or stuff like that. There is links for that down in the description, by the way. So have a look at that. And now we have this final result with some rain added in. So this is how we can use sky replacement to do a completely different shot than we had originally. Anyway, I do hope you found this little video useful. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, share it with your friends if you think it would help them out, and if you want to be notified every time there's a new video on this channel, please hit that bell icon down in the corner. Until next time, keep filming, keep learning, and keep sharing.